The sun hung low in the sky over the quiet town of Cedar Ridge, its golden rays spilling onto the winding roads and evergreen forests that lined the outskirts. It was a picturesque place, known for its charming streets and tight-knit community. However, like any town, it had its darker corners, places where prejudice still festered and ignorance refused to die. Darius Cole had moved to Cedar Ridge a month ago, seeking peace and solitude after retiring from an illustrious career in the Navy SEALs. He was a man of quiet strength, his years of service etched into his chiseled frame and calm demeanor. Having served his country in some of the most dangerous missions overseas, Darius had learned to stay composed under pressure. He spent his days working on restoring an old cabin he'd purchased deep in the woods, using the solitude to heal from the physical and emotional scars of his service. But today he decided to take a break and head into town to grab a few supplies. Darius parked his truck outside a small convenience store. As he stepped out, his towering figure and confident stride drew attention, but not all of it was welcoming. A group of bikers loitered near the entrance, their leather jackets adorned with patches that hinted at their questionable affiliations. The leader, a burly man with a thick beard and a sneer permanently etched on his face, spotted Darius. His eyes narrowed, and he nudged one of his cronies. "Look what we've got here," he said, loud enough for Darius to hear. "A lost stray wandering into our territory." Darius, accustomed to ignoring such remarks, walked past them without a word and entered the store. He had dealt with far worse than a few ignorant men in his lifetime. Inside, he greeted the store clerk with a nod and began picking up the items on his list. As he moved through the aisles, he noticed the bikers had followed him inside, their voices carrying jeers and slurs. "Hey, buddy," one of them called out mockingly. "You lost? This ain't your kind of neighborhood." Darius maintained his calm, paying them no attention as he continued his shopping, but the bikers weren't satisfied with his silence. When he reached the counter to pay, the leader stepped in front of him, blocking his way. "You deaf or just stupid?" he sneered. "I'm talking to you." Darius met his gaze with an unflinching stare. "I heard you just fine," he said, his deep voice steady but firm. "Now, if you'll excuse me, I'd like to pay for my things and leave." The leader smirked, clearly unaccustomed to being challenged. "You've got guts, I'll give you that," he said, leaning in closer. "But you don't belong here, boy. Why don't you turn around and head back to where you came from?" Darius clenched his jaw but refused to be provoked. He paid for his items, thanked the clerk, and walked out of the store. The bikers followed, their taunts growing louder and more aggressive. As Darius reached his truck and began loading his groceries, the leader shoved him from behind. The impact made him stumble slightly, but he regained his footing with ease. "That's it," the leader said, laughing. "Let's see if you've got what it takes to stand up to us." Darius turned to face them, his expression calm but his eyes sharp. "I don't want any trouble," he said. "Walk away while you still can." His words only fueled their aggression. One of the bikers swung at him, but Darius effortlessly sidestepped the punch. Before the man could react, Darius grabbed his arm, twisting it in a swift motion that left him howling in pain. The other bikers lunged at him, but they were no match for Darius's training. Years of hand-to-hand combat had honed his reflexes and precision. He moved with the grace of a predator, each strike calculated and effective. In less than a minute, the bikers were sprawled on the ground, groaning in pain. The leader, clutching his ribs, glared up at Darius with a mix of fear and rage. Who are you?" he demanded. Darius crouched down to meet his gaze. "I'm the man who gave you a chance to walk away," he said. "Next time, take it." The sound of approaching sirens filled the air. The store clerk had called the police after witnessing the altercation. When the officers arrived, they were met with the sight of the battered bikers and a calm, composed Darius. The leader tried to spin the story, claiming Darius had attacked them unprovoked. But the store's security footage told a different tale. As the officers handcuffed the bikers, one of them recognized Darius. "Wait a minute," he said. "You're Commander Cole, aren't you? The Navy SEAL?" Darius nodded. The officer turned to his colleagues. "This man's a hero," he said. "He's saved countless lives and served this country with honor." The revelation left the bikers speechless. Their arrogance and prejudice had blinded them to the truth that the man they had targeted was not only a skilled warrior, but also a symbol of resilience and courage. Word of the incident spread quickly through Cedar Ridge. The community, once divided by prejudice, began to rally around Darius, inspired by his strength and integrity. The bikers, meanwhile, faced charges for their actions and were forced to confront the consequences of their hatred. For Darius, the experience was a reminder that the fight against ignorance and bigotry was far from over. But he remained steadfast, knowing that his actions had sparked a change, one that would ripple through the town and beyond. In the end, Darius Cole proved that true strength lies not in fists or words, but in standing firm against injustice and showing the world what it means to be truly unbreakable.